Welcome back to the channel and thank you so much for joining today. Today's video I'm going to be talking about requirements or documents you need to study in France in 2023. There is an update I want to do. That's the reason I'm filming this video. But first, please like the video for us, because if you like the video, YouTube is going to show it to many other people looking for similar content like this, alright? And equally push the video out and somehow give me food to eat, alright? Thank you so much. Please, if you are new to the channel, my name is Milton Fonkwa. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe below. Thank you so much. So today, like I told you earlier on, I will be talking about required documents to secure admissions in France in 2023. Now, before I go to the list of documents, I also want you to understand that you can study either in French or in English. Alright, now let me take you back to the tuition fee. Remember, in some of my videos you might have watched, if you are old to the channel, you would hear me mentioning the fact that bachelor's degree programs, which are called license 1, 2 and 3 for level 1, 2 and 3, because bachelor's is 3 years in France, they are all 170 euros. I mentioned like that in some videos, and I equally said master's programs are 243 euros as well per semester, and PhD programs 380 euros as well, and engineering programs 601 euros per year per semester. Sorry. But now there is an update I want to do about this. Remember, there is information. There was an information I know a lot of students don't know, which stated that some universities actually put this into effect, all right, which now stands that some of the universities that you were to pay 170 euros per semester, you are now going to be paying 2,770 euros per semester. Some universities have it already, while others didn't take this new law. They just maintained the 170 that was before. Then those that were going to be paying 243 euros for their master's degree programs, they will now be paying 3,770 euros per semester. Then those that were going to be paying, I think, 601 euros for engineering programs, it remains the same. I'm not sure if they have changed the PhD programs. That was what I noticed, and I said, let me update you. Now, let's go further to the university, to the most of the updates, which are about the documents. Remember, if you are studying in France in French, you do not actually need the English proficiency like the TOEFL or the IELTS score. All right, what you will need is called the DELF of the DAF certificate. These are basically equivalents to like the TOEFL or IELTS exams. All right, and the DELF certificate is of A1 to B2 certificate qualifications. This is for French students. Those that will be studying in French, you need something like this. And the DAF certificate is from C1 to C2. So most of the times when you are applying for programs in French universities, you may see on the website saying that you should submit a DELF certificate or a proficiency in French language of equivalent to A2 or equivalent to C1. But if they say C1, it doesn't mean that if your own is B2, you cannot submit, because some people are equally getting admissions with certificates of this magnitude. All right, so that is what you should know about the exams. Now, the first document I want to talk about, that is the exams I already talked about, because they act like documents as well. Now let's go to the set of other documents called recommendation letter. Someone asked me via Facebook a few days ago that is recommendation letter the same as CV? No, they are not the same. I understand we don't know all of these things. They are not the same. Recommendation letters are letters written by some people who actually know you, like your lecturers, your human resource directors, or people in your company, because they know you. They can write to show that your attitude, your character is different, is good. You can actually study. That is recommendation letters. But a CV is a document that shows what you have been doing, maybe since you were 18 years and above, or where you have been studying, where you have been working and stuff like that. Check samples on Google, you are going to find them. Now, letters of recommendation, you will need at least 2 to study for schools in France. Most schools will ask you at least 2, all right? But some universities, you may need to submit more than 2, all right, which is still something good. But if you don't have, always check the requirements, like I say. But if they ask you without naming them, submit 2, all right? Now, if your program is in French language, you will have to translate this recommendation letter to French. Pay attention to that. The next set of documents I want to talk about is academic CV. academic transcripts. Academic transcripts, of course, you need them. Everybody need them. If you are going for master's degree, you need your transcript. If you are going for bachelor's, of course, you may not need this. You may need just your WYEC, you may need just your baccalaureate, or you may need just your WESE, depending on the country you are coming from. Those coming from Cameroon and other francophone countries, of course, or maybe francophones all over Africa, they need to provide their baccalaureate examinations, all right? Then those coming from English-speaking countries like Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, and other places, you supply your WESE, your WYEC, and your NECOs, and the rest, okay? But if you are going for a French program, of course, you have to translate these certificates to French, all right? It is very important you note this. Now, you cannot be applying for universities in France without an international passport. International passport is basically the document that you need in order to apply for any program in any country, especially if you are to start studies anytime soon. That is the reason I always encourage, or I always tell international students who come to me and they are like, they don't have passport. I just tell them, bro, just go and get your passport before you start the process, because you never can tell. Some application portals, you cannot proceed without submitting your passport number and passport details, okay? So that is something you should note down. Your CV, but before I continue with the CV, I want to tell you that if you are to submit your CV and your program is in French, you equally need to translate the CV to French, all right? So remember, these translations, you are not doing them yourself. Not any type of somebody, or not anybody is going to do the translations for you. Not anybody who speaks French would do the translation for you. These translations have to be done by a certified translator. Certified translators are found everywhere in Cameroon. Everywhere you can find them. I'm saying in Cameroon because I know Cameroonians equally watch me. Nigerians, you can equally get certified translators. They will translate those documents, all right? So that is what is on ground. Now, another document you need is your WYEC certificate. If you are a Nigerian, of course, you need your WYEC certificate. NECO, I think NECO is also accepted. Francophones, baccalaureate qualifications is what you need. And those that are applying for masters, of course, if you have a bachelor's degree and you're a francophone and you want to go for masters in French, you have to translate the English transcript and the English degree if it is in English, all right? You have to translate all of them so that they fit into your program. Now, I already talked about the DELF and the DAF exams. These are basically exams that you need. They are similar to like IELTS and TOEFL. Of course, I already explained that, so I believe it's okay now. Now, for motivation letters, remember that motivation letter is a letter that you are going to be using to apply for the program. So you need to like draft a good motivation letter to tell them why you are applying for the school, why you choose the school, and what are your future ambitions or future goals, okay? Now, also understand that in France, if you are applying for master's degree program, you may be applying for 7 maximum. If you are applying for bachelor's programs, you may be applying for 5 or 6 maximum. And all these programs like this, all of them, you need to submit motivation letters for all of them. Remember, you are not submitting one motivation letter for all the programs because they can never be the same. Put this down and note this very well, because I know a lot of international students, they don't like to work, they don't like stress, and they just like the easiest road possible to do things, which is not the right thing to do. So you have to put this into consideration and sit down well and draft different motivation letters. Maybe before the end of the year, I will bring videos about motivation letters. I'm still not, because the work is really too much on me right now. So note this, your motivation letter is going to be 2 different programs have 2 different motivation letters. Of course, there may be sections within the motivation letter which talk about your past education and your qualifications. They may be the same, but when you are addressing the intro and the outro, all right, or sections of the particular program you are applying to, maybe you are talking about lecturers and coursework involved, you do not have to do the same thing for 2 different programs. It can never be the same, all right? So that is what I can tell you for now. So you should be careful. Be careful, because, by the way, if they realize that you are using or you are performing plagiarism, or you are trying to plagiarize stuff, you may lose everything. But like I said, they are not the same. So don't expect the things to be the same. Don't expect your motivation letters to be the same for the same program. Again, remember that admissions is already on in most schools. It usually starts from from October to like December. I think just a few schools will open in January. So if you're watching me, know that you can apply. Just go to the Campus France website. All right, you check your programs, you start the application. Remember, you are applying through Etudient and France. All right, still in the Campus France website. Go to Campus France and look at the top page. You're going to see something called Etudient and France. You change everything to English language, then you start the application. All right, I believe this information is going to help you, and I believe it's going to be nice. Please, like I said, like the video and share to at least one person for us. Just liking alone is doing a lot for me. All right, if I can get 50 likes on this video before the end of today, that will be excellent. Thank you so much for understanding. In other subsequent, I will be talking about videos with regards to Austria and other countries. So if you haven't subscribed, guys, subscribe so that you can get the notification as soon as I post the next video. All right, it is going to help us a lot. Until we meet again in another one.